So once again, the NFL media is acting like a bunch of jabronis. Bills Mafia, NFL fans, listen to me closely. Sean McDermott needs to go. Period. In fact, it should be an exclamation point. Sean McDermott needs to go. There are no excuses. There are no questions left to answer. There is no reason why the Buffalo Bills should not be playing in Super Bowl 59. There is no reason that Josh Allen should not already have a Super Bowl ring on his finger. Josh Allen, listen to me closely, has the most playoff yards per game. Josh Allen, not Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, whoever else you may think of. John Elway, Otto Graham, Johnny Unitas. None of those guys. Josh Allen has the most playoff yards and touchdowns per game. Josh Allen not only has the most yards and touchdowns in the playoffs per game, but he also has the best turnover differential in the history of the playoffs. So let me get this straight. The quarterback that has the most yards, touchdowns, and turns the ball over the least in comparison to the amount that he scores does not have a Super Bowl ring? Whose fault is that? Now, if you ask Robert Mays, he might tell you that it's not Sean McDermott's fault. If you ask Dan Orlovsky, or however you say his name, at ESPN, Danny O, he's not going to blame Sean McDermott. But here on the Bottom Line View, I'm going to blame Sean McDermott. That's right, because I said going into the Chiefs game, the reason they win or lose this game, the Buffalo Bills, the reason they win or lose, it comes down to Sean McDermott. Do they get outcoached or do they not get outcoached? And the fact of the matter is they got absolutely outcoached. In fact, Sean McDermott was the second best defensive coach in the game. The other one's not even a head coach. So you sit here and you tell me, as my head is tilted sideways listening to you, staring at you like this, squinted-eyed, asking you, what does Sean McDermott bring to the table that is not replaceable? And you can give me, he's never had a bad season. You can give me, let's see if Sean McDermott ever has a bad season before we fire him. Bro, I could coach the Buffalo Bills. They're going to win 9 games. I'm sorry. At least I could do the equivalent of McDermott. What does he do? Because his defense doesn't show up in the playoffs. And when you really think about it, what has his defense ever done for them to win a Super Bowl? He's a defensive coach, right? Against Patrick Mahomes 4 times. 4 flippin' times. He has allowed Patrick Mahomes to go up and down and up and down and up and down the football field. He has allowed Andy Reid to coach circles around his defense. As Josh Allen plays his heart out in every single game. And yeah, Bills fans could blame the refs on this one. And they could relieve McDermott of that tension because of the refs. And I understand it. The refs were not the greatest. That 4th and 1 was an absolute disaster. But there are some arguing in my comments that he should have challenged the 3rd and 1, which live on my channel covering the game play-by-play, I thought was a first down as well. So yeah, the refs did not give them the spot. The worthy catch, I didn't think was really a catch, to be honest. But every single time the Bills have been eliminated from the playoffs, the Bills defense has played like utter ass cheek. And you have to ask yourself, if this was on Josh Allen and they didn't show up offensively, then you would blame Josh Allen. But I have never been this deep into a quarterback's career where he has seemingly never played bad in the playoffs, except for maybe the Cincinnati Bengals loss. And I think that would be looked at as his worst playoff game, right? And I've never been this deep into a guy's career, considered a top 3 quarterback in the NFL for like 5 or 6 years now, where he has not won a Super Bowl. And yet we're not questioning the coach. Again, this is not an offensive mastermind. He's a defensive coach whose defense never shows up against the best opponents. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, even Lamar Jackson, if not for Mark Andrews' mistakes, they probably get eliminated. Sure, they stepped up in the first half against Derrick Henry. Yippee-ki-yay. They did one thing right. They had home field last year. They lost. They had home field against Baltimore. The defense still played terrible for most of the game. They had the best opportunity I've seen this year. They had the quarterback playing better football. They had the better O-line. I don't know, man. I just look at this team and I understand Buffalo is going through the process this offseason of a rebuilding year, a retooling year, so to speak. And they'll be back in the playoffs. But this question about Sean McDermott is not about getting back to the playoffs or the divisional round or even the AFC Championship game. That's not my question. And I think some media members, some analysts, some people that watch the NFL do not understand this point. This move is made because the Bills need a change. The Bills need a change to win the fucking Super Bowl. Not the AFC Championship even. Not the AFC divisional round. No. Not the AFC East. The Super Bowl. We're talking Super Bowl. All right? We're not talking AFC divisional round. We're talking Super Bowl. So if Buffalo wants to make that difference, if they want to make that leap, if they want to make that change, they got to look in the mirror and they got to say, what's got to change from our coach? Because his defense never gets it done. And honestly, I don't know if there's a coach out there right now that could replace him at this moment. They've kind of missed out on the search. Unless they somehow get Bill Belichick to Buffalo and become the true Buffalo Bills, I'm not exactly sure who would be capable of replacing him. Mike McCarthy. You know, at least he's won a Super Bowl with a great quarterback before. I guess there could be him. Do you go with Steve Spagnuolo? Just steal one of Kansas City's coaches because he's better than McDermott at this point. I think it's facts. Do you take a younger offensive mind? Do you just elevate Joe Brady to head coach? Do you take Cliff Kingsbury? What do you do? Right? Do you bring in Doug Peterson? What's the answer here? I don't know if there is a proper one right now, which kind of sucks because we're going to see another season and another playoffs with this Sean McTerrorist running his way to ruin Josh Allen's playoff legacy. Because at the end of the day, this guy should have a Super Bowl. Maybe multiple Super Bowls, the way that he has played in these games. And it is very upsetting as an NFL fan that we continue to sit here and every single time the Chiefs and the Bills play, it's not the difference in quarterback. It's the difference in coach that always makes the fucking difference. So Bills Mafia, I'm fed up. Sean McDermott's a good coach, but good does not win you Super Bowls. Great does. And we know the facts. After 5 seasons with a coach and a quarterback combination, it's highly historically unlikely that a quarterback and a coach find their way to a Super Bowl win. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's time to make a change. And in Buffalo, I think it's time to make a change. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. It's Mitch. Thank you so much for watching. Bills Mafia, I've been riding with you all year. I love your support. I appreciate you guys. Despite being a Patriots fan, you guys are one of my favorite fan bases. You guys have one of my favorite teams to watch, one of my favorite players to watch in the NFL. And I hope the Bills can get a Super Bowl one day. I really do, especially Josh. Even if you're in our division. Because Drake May is coming. He's coming, baby. Mike Vrabel's coming, baby. Now, I do wonder if Mike Vrabel should have been the guy to replace Sean McDermott. I really do. I think the Bills might have missed out. That being said, Buffalo did go through a little bit of a retooling. People didn't think the Jets, the Dolphins, they might be better than Buffalo this past season. People didn't think Buffalo would be in the mix. That's just the greatness of Josh Allen, in my opinion. Next year, let's see if they can upgrade that personnel. Maybe Sean McDermott can turn around his reputation, can prove me wrong. But honestly, I'm done picking him against the Chiefs. Because I just can't trust him against this matchup. I can't trust him. He gets outcoached every time. Gronk spiked the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.